السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته, everybody. Bismillah walhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Welcome back to our bi-weekly study of Imam al-Ghazali's text on perfecting the prayer, improving our salah. I'm sorry for the slight delay. We may actually be changing the class time just because of a scheduling conflict, inshallah, so keep an eye on that. But I'm sorry for the slight delay. But inshallah, today we'll read a little bit just to make sure that we're getting something in, inshallah, about some of the ways in which we can benefit and improve our prayer. The part of the prayer that we're at, that Imam al-Ghazali is walking us through now step by step, is the portion of the beginning of the salah, in which we say the takbir and make the initial opening dua, the initial supplication of salah. And what he's doing is he's essentially just giving us things to think about. And this is great because the number one question that I get, and that a lot of people I'm sure think and have, is what am I supposed to be thinking about during my prayer? Like, what am I supposed to be, what's supposed to be on my mind during the salah? Especially if I don't know exactly the tafsir or the meaning of what I'm reciting, then what is it that I should be thinking about? And so at each portion during the prayer, Imam al-Ghazali, in this portion of the book, in this portion of the text, he tells us what are some of the things that we should think about and what are some of the things that we should reflect on. So today we're going to cover the isti'adha, the a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Okay, that's what we're going to cover today. We don't have a ton of time. Inshallah, next week we'll announce like a time shift where we can have more consistent half-an-hour sessions. But today, this portion is actually amazing. It's really, really awesome. So this will be enough for us today, inshallah. So what are some of the things that we should be thinking about when it comes to the isti'adha, the phrase of أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم? He says, وَإِذَا قُلْتَ أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم فَاعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ عَدُوَّكَ ومترصد لصرف قلبك عن الله تعالى حسدا لك على مناجاتك مع الله سبحانه وسجودك له. He says that when you utter the phrase that I seek refuge in Allah from shaitan, the cursed devil, he says, no, فَاعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ عَدُوَّكَ, that he is the one who is your clear enemy. He is the one that is your clear and destined enemy. مُتَرَدِّسًا لِصَرْفِ قَلْبِكَ عَنَ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى, that he's just waiting. He's waiting for your heart. He's waiting and hiding so that he can, for that moment where your heart is going to turn away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And hasadan laka ala munajatika. Shaitan is actually incredibly jealous over the fact that you have these amazing conversations and opportunities to sit with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَسُجُودِكَ لَكَ, and he's jealous of what? Of the fact that you have the chance to make sujood to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. مع أنه لعن بسبب سجدة واحدة تركها ولم يوفق لها. That because he was the one who was cursed by Allah because he abandoned one single sujood and was not given the opportunity, he did not capitalize on the opportunity to make that sajda. So shaitan, when you say a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, then you need to remember that shaitan is the one who hates Muslims, or everybody, but Muslims so much, but his hatred is actually coupled with his jealousy. He's jealous because we do in salah what he did not do, and he is incredibly disappointed in himself that he did not take it upon himself to fulfill the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Shaitan is not happy with the mistake that he made. He has to live with it because it's what he did, and because his arrogance is so great that he can't overcome his arrogance. But he still is upset with himself. And so every time you make salah and every time you make sujood, remember that shaitan, the reason why he comes at you so much and attacks you so much is because you're doing and proving that you can do what he didn't do, right? So that's why Imam al-Ghazali says that he's upset. Why? Because لُعِنَ بِسَبَبِ سَجْدَةٍ وَاحِدَةٍ تَرْكَهَا وَلَمْ يُوَفَّقْ لَهَا. He missed one sajda. He abandoned it after being commanded by Allah to do it, and that is why he hates and is so jealous of us, because every time we make sajda, shaitan is reminded of the time that he did not make sajda. Okay? And he was not given a second chance to make it. Okay? وَإِنَّ إِسْتِعَاذَتَكَ بِاللَّهِ تَعَالَى مِنْهُ بِتَرْكِ مَا يُحِبُّهُ. That the real seeking of refuge from Allah, when you say, "Oh Allah, I seek refuge in you from the shaitan. I seek refuge, a'udhu billah." When you seek refuge in Allah, he says, the real seeking of refuge is not just with words, okay? Is not just with words. He says, it's by giving up, minhu bi tarki ma yuhibbuhu. It's by giving up what shaitan loves. If you really want Allah to provide refuge for you from shaitan, then you have to do your part and give up what shaitan loves. وَتَبْدِيلِهِ بِمَا يُحِبُّ اللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ. And you need to flip it with, instead of doing what shaitan loves, do what Allah loves. لَا بِمُجَرَّدِ قَوْلِكَ. It's not just a statement that you make with your tongue. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم is not just something you utter with your tongue. It's not just something you say alone. It's not words. Rather, it's abandoning what shaitan loves and trying your best to adopt what Allah loves. Okay? And he says, فَإِنَّ مَنْ قَصْدَهُ سَبْعٌ أَوْ عَدُوٌ, okay, لِيُفْتِرَسَهُ أَوْ لِيُقْتِلَهُ فَقَالَ أَعُوذُ مِنْكَ بِذَلِكَ الْحُسْنِ وَالْحَسِينِ. That he said that because if one of you, for example, whoever with, had the intention or the purpose, or if there was somebody who was being attacked by some sort of animal or person that wanted to kill them, and that person, they said, أَعُوذُ مِنْكَ بِذَلِكَ الْحَسْنِ وَالْحَسِينِ, that I seek refuge from you, and I'm going to go into that fortress, and I'm going to go into that place of shelter. Okay? But he says, وَهُوَ ثَابِتٌ عَلَى مَكَانِهِ. But that person stays exactly where they are. So imagine there's like a tiger that's coming at you, and the person says with their tongue, I seek refuge in you from that safe sanctuary, that safe fortress, right? Or there's like a murderer coming and the person's like, I seek refuge from you by that safe place. And he says, وَهُوَ ثَابِتٌ عَلَى مَكَانِهِ, and they stay exactly where they are. Okay? فَإِنَّ ذَلِكَ لَا يَنْفَعُهُ. This person's not going to be benefited by this, right? They won't be benefited if they're staying exactly where they are. Okay? بَلْ لَا يُعِيذُهُ إِلَّا تَبْدِيلَ الْمَكَانِ. The person will not find anything that will help them except by actually changing where they are. Okay, so if a person simply says "A'udhu billahi," or "A'udhu minka," or "A'udhu bidhalik," like I'm seeking refuge in something, they actually have to take effort. They can't just say, "Oh, I'm scared of this," right? So he's saying here, the point he's making is, when you see danger coming your way, you can't just verbally say "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim," and by the virtue of that, right? Laysa bimujarradi qawlika, like not just by the amount, the words that you say, you actually have to try to change something as well. Okay? فكذلك من يتبع الشهوات التي هي محاب الشيطان ومكاره الرحمن فلا يغنيه مجرد القول. He said that, so for the person who follows all their desires, those things, those desires that are the beloved of shaitan, and they are the things that Ar-Rahman, the most merciful, does not like for us, he says that they will never be benefited by that statement alone. So if a person says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, and they don't cut off following those desires that they have that please shaitan, muhabbu shaitan, and instead they engage in those things, makarih rahman, those things that Allah does not like, فَلَا يُغْنِيهِ مُجَرَّدُ الْقَوْلِ, that statement will not help them. So this is what a person should be thinking when they're saying A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. When they say that statement, they have to be thinking to themselves, okay, I'm seeking refuge from shaitan in Allah. I'm asking Allah to protect me from this enemy that I have. But what am I doing that's helping my enemy get to me? What am I doing that's helping my enemy on my enemy's mission? My enemy's mission is to destroy me. What am I doing that's helping my enemy? And how can I change myself to allow myself to have greater success in having safety from my enemy? Okay? Because he says, if you don't get rid of the things that shaitan loves and the things that Allah does not love, then the statement of isti'adha, a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, it's not going to help you alone. There has to be some action that's attached to that. So we will continue, inshallah, with the continuation of this, inshallah, on Thursday. And then after Thursday, keep your eyes here, inshallah, because we're going to be announcing a new time for this session where we can have consistent, 30-minute readings for every week, inshallah ta'ala. So we ask Allah ta'ala to protect us from the shaitan. We ask Allah ta'ala to grant us refuge from the shaitan, that we are able to not just say it with our tongues, but also seek refuge from the shaitan with our actions, and that helps us and benefits us in our prayers. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Barakallahu feekum, everybody. Take care, inshallah. See you guys on Thursday. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.